Why did I sign WizKid? You know they say some people have that star factor, that X factor, that thing that you can't really put a finger on. But everybody who's been successful has always had it. And I can honestly say that the minute I met him in person, even before, we still put him through the process, or bring more music, or what else have you done, or come and record on this song, or whatever. But at that very moment, I knew that he was going to be a superstar. So yes, he was a superstar.
Oh, you're gonna make me cry.
Let's hug it out. Let's hug it out. You just give me a heads up.
Wizkid, born Ayodeji Ibrahim Balogun in 1990, burst into the Nigerian music industry in the early 2000s. His breakthrough came in 2010 when he collaborated with Banky W, who played a pivotal role in his rise. Wizkid's hits like Holla at Your Boy and Don't Dull quickly gained national acclaim. In 2010, he released his debut album called Superstar, which would mark a defining moment in his career and become a prophecy as to who he would later become. The success of Superstar not only showcased his versatility, but also laid the foundation for his record label called Starboy Entertainment, established in 2013. His 2014 single, Ojo Elegba, became a huge hit, catching the attention of Drake. The Canadian rapper's remix, alongside collaborations like One Dance and Come Closer, propelled Wizkid to the forefront of international music. Since then, he worked with Beyoncé on Brown Skin Girl and Justin Bieber on the remix with Essence with Thames. But right from the very beginning, there was something about him that everyone could see, including and especially Banky W, who would later play a major role in his rise. Around the time Wizkid was rising in the early 2010s, Davido, Olamide and Burna Boy were also making impacts and hits. More than the obvious hits, lifestyle and dominance, there was something about them that most people could see, and this is what is called star energy. But the truth is that star energy has always found a way to express itself through different people in different times. In the 90s and early 2000s, the actors and athletes were the superstars. People like Omotola, Genevieve, Ramsey Noah, Mr. Ebu, and Stella Damascus, among many others, were the stars. We also had athletes like JJ Okocha and Kanu Nwankwo. As Nigerian music started to become popular in the 2000s, a new set of music stars emerged. We had people like Tuface Idibia, P-Square, D'banj, and Don Jazzy. Now, it is important to note that this is not the only time musicians had become stars, as in the past we had people like King Sunny Ade, Majek Fashek, and Fela, who reigned during the 1970s to the 1990s. So the question now is, what is star energy? Star energy is a term often used to describe the unique charisma, presence, and influential aura that certain individuals, particularly celebrities and public figures, exude. It suggests a magnetic quality that draws attention and admiration from others. It is a subjective term that encapsulates the combination of talent, confidence, and appeal that makes a person stand out as a star. The first thing to note about star energy is that you don't have to be an entertainer or athlete to exude this energy. You can be a star in the business world, or if you come from a royal family or a popular family name. Or you can be an ordinary or random person that has no desire for fame and attention and still be able to exude this energy. I'm sure we've all seen people like that just seem to just shine for no reason. They just have this star energy about them. It doesn't matter how skilled or talented you are, especially as an entertainer, public figure, or athlete. Without star energy, you won't be able to attract fame and money at the highest levels. Star energy manifests and interacts on two layers. The first layer is internal, and the second layer is external. The first layer has to do with how a person perceives themselves internally. So it has to do with a high self-confidence, feelings of gratitude, feelings of abundance and success, feelings of progress, and expressions of positivity. Although this is not always the case. Having high self-confidence doesn't always mean high self-worth, although I'll explain that in a different video. But what I mean here is the high self-confidence in a skill, talent, or some aspects in their personality or life. This high self-confidence will start bleeding out into the real world through a person's human aura, and this is what we call magnetism. Magnetism is what some may call charisma, but magnetism is much more than that. Positive magnetism is the harmonious relationship between a person's heart and mind, or what they call conscious mind and unconscious mind in psychology. On the second layer, which is the external, it has to do with how the public or the audience perceives the person. So this has to do with mass projection of an idea or an archetype, or mass feelings of love and respect, or at least likeness. Sometimes this image can be carefully crafted by a group of individuals to make the public or audience have a particular perception of the star or individual. This can be done by creating a persona that the star wears through things like how they dress, how they look, talk, and interact with the public. The goal is to create an image or persona in the minds of the audience or public. This is what we will call packaging. So, on the internal layer, it is all about how a person strongly feels about themselves, while on the external layer, it has to do with how the audience or the public feels about the individual and how well they respect the person's skill level. The characteristics of star energy include: number one, exclusivity. One of the most important aspects of being a star is not being able to be accessible so easily. You have to be hard to reach. Once a person is too accessible or too available, it makes it difficult for people to project the idea of being a superstar on them, because part of being a superstar is having a bit of mystique, making it difficult for people to be able to access you as easily and as quickly as they want. The second thing is projectable, which I think is the most important thing. This has to do with embodying an archetype of success. For example, most celebrities embody archetypes of the leader or the boss or the lover or the entertainer. You have to be able to be a character that people want to become like you. You have to become like a kind of ego ideal, an ideal image, a role model that people want to become. If you can't have that kind of projectable image, people will not be able to see you as a star. And that's just the truth. Most stars are people that many other people want to become like, or they see themselves, because they represent an idea of completeness. Number three, attractiveness. And we can also call that packaging or branding. It doesn't always mean traditional attractiveness, but the packaging, which is how you dress, how you move around. So if, for example, you are going for a show or you are going for an event and you come with Okada, people will not treat you as well as if you come with a nice car and you dress very expensively. So that's that packaging, and you have to be consistent in that look. You can also do the package of looking ordinary and looking simple, which is the regular person archetype, but that has to be very deliberate, and that's not always the case. To be able to seem like a star, you need to always look as good as possible, as often as possible. Number four, we have success, or at least the illusion of success. The star has to always have an abundance mindset. That's why you see many celebrities dashing out money, spraying money, helping others, or at least involving in philanthropy, because that is part of the whole idea. You have to be able to project the idea of success onto the public. The star has to have a kind of positive and grateful mindset, which a lot of people will be able to sense with the way you talk, with the way you sing, with the way you carry yourself. But when you now do activities whereby you help others, at least constantly, always helping others and giving people money, it also makes it easier for other people to be able to see you as a star. Number five, skill, talent, and intelligence. To be able to be perceived as a star, you need to be able to have skills that are very difficult for other people to be able to learn quickly. You have to be able to have skills that the average person, even with their best effort, will not be able to replicate. So, like Wizkid now, with the level that he sings, although these days he's not very lyrical, but his melody level is very high. The same thing with Davido, the same thing with Bonner, the same thing with Olamide and all those guys. It has taken them so many years of developing their skill to be able to get to this point whereby even if you want to copy them, you won't be able to, because their skill level is very high. The same thing with acting and other people that are in the arts and entertainment and that kind of field. The next one is the ability to maintain composure in difficult situations, as well as the ability to ignore or manage criticisms. One of the major aspects of being a celebrity has to do with management of criticism, because fame is a double-edged sword. One moment people are hailing you, people are praising you, and the next moment you make a mistake and people are bashing you and they want to bring you down, how you manage yourself in such situations will make a difference in how people will perceive you. Most people cannot deal with that level of negative attention, but what makes a star has to do with how they maintain composure. Because it doesn't matter who you are, you will not always have people praising you all the time. And even if many people praise you, there will still be some people that will just hate on you and be bashing you all the time. And one of the greatest fears of most people is public speaking. So being able to maintain yourself in public spaces, on the internet, and all of that kind of thing will make a major difference in how people will perceive you moving forward. Number 7, we have association. So one of the aspects that make people perceive a person as a star is who they associate themselves with. Celebrities usually hang out with celebrities. Stars always hang out with stars. They marry each other, they date each other, they are friends with each other, which is very understandable because they are able to empathize with each other. If you are a normal person, you will not be able to totally empathize with what it feels like to be popular and to be judged or praised very often. So as time goes on, when a person spends time with other celebrities or is seen with other celebrities, it gives the public the impression that this person has exclusive access and may be a star. If you now join that with all the other aspects, their skill level, exclusivity, projectability, attractiveness, it gives them the illusion of being a star. Number 8, personality. All stars have strong personalities. Some may have okay personalities, some may have very strong personalities, but the one thing that makes a person a star is their personality, how they think, how they talk, their worldview, their opinions, how they carry themselves, that unique X factor that makes them stand out from others. Because it doesn't matter how skilled you are, if you do not have personality, you'll be totally forgettable. One thing that has made somebody like Portable to be able to continue to just remain relevant in the industry is his personality. Because since he released Zazu, he has not been able to release any song that has become very popular. But you cannot deny that he has personality. He might be very rough around the edges and all over the place, but there's something about his personality that you cannot deny. And finally, number 9 is quality level. One of the things that makes a star is quality level of what they produce. So whether it's their music, whether it's their acting, whether it's their artwork, whether it's the stage where they perform and all of that, the quality level has to be higher than other people in that same genre or field. So for example, as a musician, let's say Wizkid now, he might not be dropping songs with a lot of substance, but the quality of the production is always high. The same thing with actors. An actor may not act in a movie that may win an Oscar, but the quality of the production always has to be high. To be perceived as a star, you always have to have a very high quality level. If your quality level is low, people will not be able to project on you and see you as a star. Moving on, there are 2 levels of star energy. Now, I don't want you to confuse it with 2 layers of star energy, because that has to do with how a person feels about themselves and how the public and the audience perceive them. There are different degrees to this star energy. Some people have more, while some people have less. That is why there's something called star among stars. There's always going to be somebody that is more successful and exudes far more star energy than other stars. The first level is persona-based star energy, while the second level is the self-based star energy. The persona level star energy has to do with people that have low to mid-scale talent and personality type star energy. These are people that heavily rely on packaging, dressing, looks, hype, gimmicks, and other external tactics to maintain the illusion of success and stardom. This obviously will not last very long and will fade with time. At best, they can be remembered as icons, but they will never be seen as legends. On the second layer, we have the self-based star energy, which I would describe as individuals with high skill, high talent, strong personality, and high success-based star energy. At this level, a person has a high magnetism and is just manifesting and living their dreams. These are the true stars. They seem to have passion for what they do. I'm sure we all know people like that. We have people like Davido, Wizkid, Burna Boy, Tiwa Savage, Genevieve, Drake, and people like that. These are the ones that will go on to become legends. Now, the thing is that star energy can be lost. Some years ago, I went to a video shoot in Sulere, and on the set, I saw Shantizo. I'm sure you guys remember Shantizo. He actually reigned for like 3 years and had so many hits. And during his reign, he was undeniably seen as a star because he totally dominated the airwaves. He had songs like Shole, he had the song with Tiwa Savage, and he just reigned and reigned and reigned. And I see him in 2010, and for some reason, he just seemed to have lost that spark. There was something about him that just seemed so ordinary. That star energy that I used to have in the past just seemed to have just disappeared. And it was very strange for me to witness, because this was not the first time I've seen that type of thing. When I just saw him, I was like, wow, this guy, he looks so ordinary. He just seemed to just be so, I don't know how to explain it to you. When I contrast this with the first time I met Davido, I think in 2016, even though he was just alone, there was some energy about him. Now, it could be a mixture between how I perceive him and how he himself is the energy that he exudes. But with all honesty, when I saw him, he had this strong star energy. And it's not because of I like him so much. There was just something about him. He was just exuding outward. And I was like, this guy is a star. Right now, there are so many people that used to reign in the past that seem to have lost it. Sometimes this star energy can dissipate when a person reaches their ceiling of success. This is when a person has achieved everything they wanted to achieve, and they no longer have the motivation and hunger to deliver quality works. So the public loses interest in them and moves on. Sometimes it could be life challenges that changes a person's energy field. When a person stops focusing on the positive aspects of their life and start to focus too much on what they are going through, the stress. For example, an artist that has record label issues, health challenges, problems at home, they will no longer be able to exude that positive and magnetic star energy. Before you know it, that energy will just disappear and they will start looking ordinary. Some people that seem to have lost that star energy: Blackface, Shantizo, Scales, Peruzzi, Techno, and so many more. What to do to gain this star energy and how to keep it in the long run. The most important thing is to be able to improve your skill. One of the things of all superstars is they have skill levels that most normal people will never be able to achieve. If you have that intention to become a star, to become celebrated, the most important thing is you have to develop your skill level to a very high level that when you come out to perform, when you release your work, it will be undeniable that you are the very best at it, or at least you are among the very best at what you do. Mediocre work cannot be celebrated for long. It may reign for a period, it may trend, but after some time, people will just move on and go to the next trending artwork or music and all of that. The second thing is you have to improve your public speaking and your public performance levels. So, as I said, one of the most important things of mega stars is they're able to seem like they're the ones that are generating energy for people that are watching them. They are the ones that are giving the public energy. For example, when you see somebody like Burna Boy on stage, or Beyonce, or Fela Kuti, they are the ones that are giving the crowd and the watchers energy. They seem to be able to be so comfortable on stage that you are drawn into them. Most people are very afraid of public speaking. Most human beings, if not 99%, are very afraid of public speaking. So to be able to stand in public and remain in a state of flow and remain in a state of just looking comfortable, it will help you to become that person you want to become, the star you want to become. Number 3 is packaging. You have to start packaging yourself. You have to start branding yourself. To be able to evoke that feelings of people seeing you as a star, you have to dress well. You have to have a unique style. You need to have a unique style, a unique way of dressing, a unique way of carrying yourself. You can't just be appearing with Okada and Boss and Uber. It's okay, but if you want people to see you as exclusive or as a star, you have to package yourself to at least to an extent. It doesn't mean you have to be fake. It doesn't mean that you now start going and renting, but there's also something called fake it till you make it, which is that packaging. most people that became successful, at least in their first few years, they had to fake it, at least to an extent, until it now later became a real thing. The last and the most important thing is you have to believe in yourself, and you have to believe you are a star. Now, this thing, when I say believe you are a star, doesn't mean that you now become this arrogant, pompous person that will now be marching on everybody's toes, and that's not what I mean. It's just believe in yourself and believe that you yourself, you are worthy of being celebrated. The earlier you adopt this mentality, the better for you. That's why you see so many celebrities, they always had the belief that they were going to become stars since when they were children. So the earlier you adopt the belief that one day I'm going to be a star, the better for you. This is the place where parents need to start encouraging their children and pushing their children and nurturing their children so that they can believe in themselves quicker. Whatever skill that they are doing, encourage them, and one day you will be surprised and you will not be surprised. Because many people that have become stars almost always had that belief since they were children. As you are now listening to this, you can develop that belief that you are a star and nurture it and give yourself time. It might take you 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, but it's never too late. And there we have reached the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed what you listened to, what you saw in this video. If you like it, please drop a comment in the comment section, give the video a like, and subscribe to the channel. My name is Kola, and this is the soul of Afropop culture. I'll see you on my next videos. Have a wonderful day. Bye.